Is Red Deer, Alberta still affordable in 2025? This rising cost of living may actually surprise you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Kyle. I am a licensed realtor in the Red Deer and Central Alberta area. In this video, we are going to break down the cost of living in Red Deer, Alberta in 2025. Now, I do make this video every single year, so we're going to compare the numbers from this year to the video I made last year and see what has changed. All right, let's kick this off with the biggest item that people are concerned about. Let's talk about real estate. What is it going to cost me to buy a detached home in Red Deer, Alberta? Now, I think that this is really interesting compared to the numbers that we saw in the previous years. So just to give a little bit of context here, heading out of 2022, so the median detached price in 2022 was $370,000. Now, fast forward a year later, coming out of 2023, that median detached price rose to $380,000, which is a 2.7% increase. Now, coming out of 2024 and heading into 2025, the median detached price is now $425,000. That is a big difference. We went from 2.7% appreciation to just about 12% appreciation in 1 year. We have an extremely low months of inventory for this time of year. We are currently sitting at 1.78 months. If no new homes were to come on the market, we would sell out of all of our inventory in just under 2 months. To give a little bit perspective, last year at this time, we had 3 months of inventory, which kind of puts us teetering onto a buyer's market. Right now, we are in an extreme seller's market. And I think another interesting fact is that for the first time since I've been a real estate agent, we actually have less inventory than the city of Calgary, which everyone knows Calgary has been going absolutely bananas over the last few years. That benchmark home price has rose over $300,000. And Calgary is sitting at just under 2.5 months of inventory. So they're kind of teetering on that balance market when Red Deer is still in an extreme seller's market. Housing starts over the last year have rose 93%. So builders are absolutely loving this. Homes are selling before they even break ground. And that exact same home that they just sold, when they build a new one, you're seeing huge price increases and they are getting it. So this just goes to show you how much more popular the Red Deer area is becoming. We're seeing that appreciation go up significantly compared to the year before. We have a very, very low months of inventory. People love the location here. They love that Red Deer is so central and it is super affordable still for the time being.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Never have before.
I want to live here.
What?
This house is incredible.
Doesn't seem like the right reason, but I do love the media room.
Love is real.
And for the time being, I am a licensed realtor in the Red Deer, Alberta area. So use this info popping up. If you need any help making the move here, I've helped tons of families make the move here from all over the country and all over the world. Use this info, get a hold of me any way you'd like. Would love to hear from you. All right, let's talk about the cost of property taxes here in the city. Currently, we are sitting at 0.98% of the assessed value. So if we take that average or that median detached price of $425,000, you're going to pay roughly $4,165. That's not roughly, that's exact. $4,165 for the year. Now, I do have a little bit of bad news for you. In 2025, Red Deer is going to see a tax increase of 10.5%. Now, this doesn't mean that 10.5% is going to get applied to your property taxes. They say roughly that on a $350,000 home, this is going to increase your taxes by about $22.75 per month. So the entire Central Alberta area is seeing a tax increase. And unfortunately, Red Deer is leading the way at 10.5%. So we'll see what that brings in 2025. All right, let's take a look at the rental market. Now, people in Red Deer, we've been spoiled for a very long time. It wasn't long ago that we're one of the lowest, or were the lowest in the country when it comes to average rental rates. In the last year though, however, Red Deer, with the growth that we've been seeing, it's gone up 16%, which makes it one of the fastest growing rental markets in the entire country.
That's reality, Doug. You can't deny it.
However, there's still some really good news here. Even though we've seen such a huge increase in our rental market, it is still one of the most affordable mid-sized cities in the country. Now, the average across all types of rents it's $1,470 per month, which is 25% lower than the national average. Now, Alberta actually has 6 out of the top 10 most affordable markets. Just to give a little bit of comparison, Lethbridge is sitting at $1,509 for the average across all different types of rents. Now, I know it sucks. Again, we were really spoiled here for a long time, but if you do want to find cheaper rents, you're gonna have to move to places like Fort McMurray or Grand Prairie.
What did you just say?
Check the prompter.
I didn't get it!
And Lloydminster actually came in as one of the lowest in the country. Now, what is driving this increase in real estate prices, the rental market, the low inventory? Obviously, there is a ton of people moving here. So Alberta as a province last year, 204,000 people made the move to Alberta. And with many of our markets starting to see a lot of price increases, for example, Calgary and Edmonton isn't nearly as bad as Calgary, but it's still going up there. People are looking for more affordable living and they want an amazing location, which Red Deer has in spades, in my opinion. If you want an extreme central location close to everything in Alberta, Red Deer is probably the best. But 204,000 people moving here with the low inventory that we just talked about, this just becomes a simple supply and demand thing, which causes those prices in the rental market as well as the detached market or just the real estate market in general to increase. Now, we've also seen the interest rates continue to go down. Now, last year when I made this video, I had some people blow me up in the comments. I predicted that interest rates would be down to 3.45%. And I had people ask me if I'd be willing to bet on that. And at the time of making this video, interest rates are actually at 3.25%. So maybe I do know what I'm talking about. Now, the rate drops are supposed to continue through 2025. We're not going to see as big a cuts as we've seen through 2024. But by next summer, we could see those rates as low as 2.5%. It all depends on what happens with inflation. So my prediction for the year 2025, and if I'm wrong, you can blow me up in the comments, no big deal. I'm a big boy, I can handle it.
Oh, you're a big man now all of a sudden.
Is that prices are going to continue to go up. If you can buy now before that spring market hits, I would suggest doing so because in my opinion, once the spring hits and once those interest rates are even lower, man, I think that it's just going to be a feeding frenzy and it's going to be a difficult situation if you are a buyer. All right, let's move along to utilities. So we're going to talk about electricity, gas, water, wastewater, and waste collection. Now, the city of Red Deer, this is where you're going to set up your water, wastewater, and waste collection. I phoned the city the other day, and on average, if you're using a medium garbage bin, now you can get a small or a medium or a large or extra large or a large garbage bin. I'm not sure. There's 3 different sizes. So this is with a medium bin. The average is about $122 a month for water, wastewater, and waste collection. Now, in Alberta, our utilities are unregulated, so you can choose your provider. Some of the more popular providers for electricity and gas in the province are NMAX. NMAX is super popular. AtGo and Direct Energy, just to name a few. Those are probably the 3 most popular. But you can go online, you can go to a site called ucahelps.alberta.ca. You can put in your postal code. There's a cost comparison tool. You can compare all the providers against each other and choose the one that you want to go with. Now, of course, a lot of factors come into play in how much your gas and electricity bill is going to be. If you're leaving lights on all the time, if you got young kids who don't listen to a word you say, then your electricity is going to be higher. And then with your gas bill, your heating bill, I mean, the time of year is going to play a big factor. So obviously in Alberta, we have a little bit colder, or we do have colder winters than a lot of places, and our furnace is running the whole time. Now, if you have a wood burning stove, this is a huge benefit. You can really save on your heating bill. I actually have one, although I don't have it hooked up, which is really stupid. I got to get on that. And if you're like me, who's a sucker for my dogs, they sleep in the garage, and I do leave my garage on to about 10 or 15 degrees. Throughout the nighttime, I have a German Shepherd and a Golden Retriever, Charlie and Tilly. By the way, I've always had German Shepherds, and I have a Golden Retriever now, and I will say that a Golden Retriever is the most dramatic dog in the history of dogs. So take this with a grain of salt because I do leave my heater on for my dogs in the garage. But last month, my gas bill was $198. Now it will be a little bit lower. I do have a bigger bungalow with a walkout basement. So I know my basement in the wintertime gets super cold because of the walkout. So I think that pulls a little bit of heat as well. I hit up one of my buddies in the city who lives in a 2-story built in 2001, and his gas bill was $170 for the month. Now, maybe you can help me out with this. I'm looking at my gas bill right now. and there's a lot of distribution and transmission fees. I have no idea why they're like this in Alberta, and I'm not sure if it's like this in all the other provinces as well. If you're from out of province and you get a lot of these different types of fees also, let me know in the comments. Or if you can explain to me why we have all these fees here in Alberta, let me know in the comments. But my energy usage was only $81, and then I had a distribution fee of $85 and another transmission fee of about $30. So that really adds up. That's way more than my actual usage. Now my electricity for the month was about $110. So you can see when you add all this up, and this was for last month, in the wintertime, my entire utility bills for the entire month was about $400. Now, one thing I will note, if you're coming from Ontario, and I don't know if they do this in British Columbia, electricity out here is called electricity. It's not called hydro. Hydro to us means water. So if you get some funny looks when you call your electricity hydro, that's why.
This is what we used to call a small hydro.
And that line is electricity.
All right, let's take a look at internet and TV. Now, out here in Alberta, the major providers are Shaw and TELUS. Now, you can get a better deal through resellers of Shaw and TELUS products from companies like TechSavvy or Lightspeed, just to name a couple. They're actually able to give a discount just because of their business model. You can save from 10 to 30%. However, I don't know if it's worth it if you're looking for great customer service and the highest internet speeds possible. Now, I have never used them. I've always used Shaw and TELUS when I lived in the city. I have heard a lot of people say that the internet is a little bit slower and that the customer service isn't great. Now, that could just be one company. Maybe that's not like all of them. Definitely do your homework before looking into that. You are going to get probably the best internet if you go directly with the two big providers like Shaw and TELUS. But on average, you're going to spend anywhere from $70 to $100 per month, depending on what you get. I think it's how many gigabytes or something. I don't know. I'm not a techie guy, so how fast your upload speeds are. Now, if you are living on an acreage, and I do live on an acreage, you absolutely are going to want to get Starlink. I used to have TELUS Smart Hub. It started off okay, and then as more people started using it, it actually got really slow. So I made the switch to Elon Musk's Starlink, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I can still game if I want to. We play some Fortnite, me and the girls. I have given up my World of Warcraft addiction, but if I wanted to play, I could still run World of Warcraft, no problem. Now, to buy the satellite itself, and there might be better deals now, this was a couple of years ago for me, the satellite itself cost $800, and then it is $140 per month for the internet service. Now, I know that might seem expensive, but if you're living on an acreage, you're looking to work remote, and if you are looking to work remote, and you are going to move to an acreage, you definitely want to check into these things, what the internet is like, and can you get Starlink in that area? Is there a clear view of the sky? So I know it does seem expensive, but it is absolutely worth it if you're looking for acreage living. Now, I almost forgot to add that if you are in the city and you're looking to bundle your internet with your TV, right now I looked on the Shaw website and it's anywhere from $130 to $160 a month if you bundle it all together. All right, let's talk about taxes. Now, if we just take more of a broad step back and we look at the province of Alberta, we break down our tax structure. It's going to be a little bit different depending on your income. Now, a lot of people like to just throw out these blanket statements that you're going to save more money on income tax if you're living in Alberta. That is not always true. It depends on how much income you're earning. So typically, in that mid-range income from $50,000 to $100,000, if we compare against provinces like BC and Ontario, you're going to pay less income taxes in those other provinces. Now, in Alberta, it's going to be more favorable when it comes to taxes if you earn a lower income or you earn a higher income. So if we look at the low income earners, Alberta has the highest basic personal amount in the country of $22,323. So on that first amount of money, the $22,000, you will pay zero taxes. Now, after that, up to $151,000, you pay a flat 10% tax. And then above that, this is kind of where you see the benefit in Alberta if you are a higher income earner. There is a new tax bracket that is being phased in for 2027. So if you're earning less than $60,000 or less, you'll be taxed at 8% instead of 10%. Now, where Alberta really shines, in my opinion, is that we don't have any payroll tax. We don't have any healthcare premiums. You only pay GST here. There's no provincial sales tax, so only 5% GST. In BC, the provincial sales tax is 12%, and in Ontario, it's 13%. So it's really nice on some big ticket items. So if you're going to buy a car, buying a quad or a UTV, it's nice that when you look at that price tag, or even if you're going out for dinner, that it's pretty much going to be that price tag. It's only 5% GST. Now, when you are buying homes, this only applies to new builds. If you're buying a home that is a resale or someone's already lived in it, there is no GST tacked on top of that. Now let's talk about the land transfer tax. Everybody knows this already. There's been so many people moving from Ontario and British Columbia that Alberta does not have any land transfer tax. So this can save you thousands of dollars. However, there is a Alberta land titles registration levy, which has gone up this year. Now, it used to be fairly nominal. On a $500,000 home, it would have been, $200, $300, $400. I can't remember exactly. I should have did the calculations before I made this video. I did, however, do the calculations using the new taxes that were implemented this year for the land titles registration fee. So if we look at a $500,000 home, there's two categories that you have to break down. There's the value, the property value, which is $500,000, and then there is the amount that you have mortgaged. So let's just say you put down 10%, you're mortgaging $450,000. Now let's get back to the property value. So there is a base rate of $50, and then there is a $5 charge for every $5,000 of property value. So in this situation on a $500,000 home, that equates to $500. Now it is exactly the same for the amount that you mortgage. So there's a base rate of $50, and then there's a charge of $5 per every $5,000 that you have mortgaged. So on a $450,000 home, that would be $450 for a total, drumroll please, $950. Guys, I'm a moron. I have to cut back in here. I made a mistake on that last calculation.
What'd you do?
I forgot to factor in the $50 base rate for both the property value as well as the mortgage registration. So it's not $950. It's actually $1,050. And I redid that calculation using the previous fees, and that would have been a $435 fee compared to $1,050. So it definitely has gone up a ton. However, it is still super affordable compared to the other provinces. Now, if we look at the land transfer tax that you would pay in British Columbia and Ontario on that same property of $500,000, in British Columbia, you would pay $8,000, and in Ontario, you would pay $6,475,000. And if you're in Toronto, you'd pay that twice. So when you factor this all together, when you look at the no provincial sales tax, the no land transfer tax, no healthcare premiums, no payroll tax, depending on where you fall in your income range, most people, most businesses and residents will pay less overall tax in Alberta compared to the rest of the country. Now let's wrap this up with some odds and ends. Now I'm not going to talk about groceries. Again, some things are going to be cheaper here in Alberta. Some things are going to be more expensive or cheaper in other provinces. I'm not going to talk about that because again, most people don't really care. They don't move across the country because they're going to save money on eggs and milk and bacon. Although we do have Alberta beef here, which is the best beef in the country, some of the best beef in the world. So don't forget that. It is getting friggin' expensive though. But one of the things I do want to touch on is the price of gas. Now here in Alberta with our energy sector, we almost always have the lowest gas prices in the country. In fact, ever since I've been making these videos, we have always had the lowest gas prices by quite a bit. But that is not the case in this video. So in Red Deer right now, the gas prices are sitting at about $1.35, which is really good compared to the rest of the country. However, Manitoba actually has us beat today. They are sitting at $1.23.1, which is crazy. I've never seen Manitoba ahead of us before. So props to Manitoba. I don't know what's going on over there, but here in Red Deer and Alberta as a province, we almost always have that benefit of having the lowest gas prices, and we drive a lot. People are in their vehicles all the time. Alberta definitely is a car dependent province. So this is definitely going to be big savings. Now, when it comes to things like insurance, home insurance and auto insurance, there's so many variables that come into play here. Again, I've helped so many people move here from different provinces, and it's been a mixed bag. Just like a lot of other things, some people find that their rates have been cheaper, and some find that their rates have been a little bit higher, depending on where they're coming from. It's really important to shop around and find a good broker. I do have an amazing broker if anybody needs any suggestions, but I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I thank you guys so much for watching, and if you do need help making the move here, use this info popping up, get a hold of me any way you'd like. Would love the chance to earn your business and the chance to chat with you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you're notified every week when a new video comes out. Thank you guys. I will see you next week.